Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Dose. This is season 2, and we're back with the one and only Jasmine. Welcome,
Hi.
welcome,
Welcome.
welcome.
Thank
Our
you.
first episode ever we did some rants about celebrities, but I guess this time we're gonna be a little more grown up. We're gonna do some girl talk. So,
Yes.
that being said, let's get started. Jasmine, how
Yes.
you feeling?
Oh, right now I feel like I'm finally coming up for some air,
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty tough these last maybe 2-ish weeks here just being a woman, but like being a woman in America right now, it's just been a
Mm-hmm.
pretty sad point. So at this current moment, I'm glad to say that I'm feeling pretty good and just taking up and moving forward with things.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I know. I wasn't even in America, and I was like pissed
Feeling,
for
yeah,
2 days. And Lil was just like out of it. And my boyfriend was
yeah,
like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Just don't talk to me. Just leave me alone." And I'm just
yeah,
like, and it was just kind of it was just kind of disappointing for people, I guess.
yeah,
So to me, I was kind of like, again, I don't even live in America, and I was like hit by it
yeah.
because it's not about like it was just about like great like women.
I know. It's
So
it's
you
like a
know,
united front. It's like I'm online and I'm seeing all these other people from places all over the world saying the same thing that you just said. Like,
yep,
I don't live in the States, but I feel for you, or I'm rooting for you guys, that kind of thing. And so it's just like you said, or you had like your 2 days where you were even upset about it. I think that's like the first time in my life so far that I have seen like most of us just all be depressed and going through the exact
together.
same thing. Yes, it's crazy. Like people online, like your friends, are just like in these really low depressive states and like having a hard time leaving your house, going to work, and just feeling like you can get through the day going to school.
Yeah.
So I was so sad. I just remember it's crazy to think about it. You don't understand how devastating it is until like it happens. But
Yep.
yeah, like like a lot of us were crying and like the things it was just pretty tough.
Yeah.
So, you wonder like, okay, what do we do? Like, how do we get out of this funk? If that's even what you want to sum it up to, it's so much more than that. But how do you like pull yourself out of it? What things do you do? And like for me, it was just doing my silly little girl things every
Yep.
day that just kind of started to help me get to a point where I'm at right now, where it's
Yeah.
like we're just gonna keep pushing and keep trying to smile every day. Like I don't know. Um,
But also in a way, like, just because this happened, it is so disappointing to like women, not just like again America and like everywhere, because it kind of gives off the vibe that like any country can never, or any man, any whatever can like make someone feel that way. And that's the thing with some people that don't realize is like, oh, it's just an election, like it's whatever. Oh, it's just thing, it's whatever. He's good for this, good for that. And I'm like, it's not about that.
yeah,
It's about the fact that the things that that group represents is not what women feel safe for anymore or at all. And when I watched Kamala's little speech thing going a whole like the the fight keeps going, and I'm like, exactly. And then I thought when I watched it, I'm like, you know what? And that was like the last day I let myself be sad, because I was like, okay, it's been a day and a half, like it's okay. I know you're above America, but I literally was like, she's right, because at the end of the day, even before all of that stuff happened, women always were fighting for all of their rights regardless, like
yeah,
anything that it is. And I was like, okay, she's right. We can't be sad forever. And I kept watching TikToks of girls going, women are sad about this, but they're not causing a havoc or riots.
Yeah.
They're sitting in their rooms crying to their friends for a day, then saying, fuck this, I'ma do what I'm doing and do it better and prove everybody wrong of what it is. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that to me, the whole representation of just women was more important than anything else because when I watched I was literally like I didn't even sleep that night. Again, I don't even live there and I didn't even sleep. I had two
You
hours
were
of sleep and I went to work the
invested.
next day. And then I literally was like and then everyone was like so happy. Oh, did you hear this one thing? How do you feel, Nelly? I'm like, how would you like me to feel? And
Yeah.
it's upsetting that people just didn't do a lot of their in a way their research and they're all very the community, not the community, sorry, the economy, money, this and that. I'm like, okay, understandable. We all want that. But if you think about what that group represents for women and for any fucking rights at all, it is not good. Like,
Yeah.
it's not safe at all. And I literally just was like baffled. I'm like, some people really don't do their research. Some people really don't know what's happening, don't know what's going on. I personally don't know how the elections work in America. Don't know how the whole thing sets up. And then when I saw Obama going, oh, like when thing Trump came into the house, he was saying that, oh, like the economy was so good under me, blah blah blah. It was my economy. I'm like, hold on, how does that work? And then I Googled it and I realized I'm like, hold the fuck up. Whoever is like in presidency in that moment, they're still running off of policies from the old president, excuse me, for my like for the old president for the next 2 years or 4 years, and then theirs starts again. I'm like, so right now Biden's not he's a little delayed, but like he's running off of Trump's stuff now. That's why it's all shit. But then when he goes back into office, he's running off Biden's law, and then they're gonna probably think he's doing well. And it was like this whole system. This is why men should not choose laws.
I know. It's, of course, so complex and like so many things about it that like this is why people get into arguments and things because of what you think or what you do or don't
Yeah,
understand. However, at the end of the day, I feel like this is where a lot of people just look at like what you said, like they focus solely on like the economy aspect or whatever this or that, but
yeah,
then like in other ways, it's like as a human being, like as an empathetic person, these other things that this person stands for or doesn't stand for apparently,
yeah,
like truly do matter. And like for us, one of the things that is hard is like where I live in America. Basically, where we stand on specifically like abortion, for example, or other things as well. There are certain things that are nationally a law, and then there are certain things where the states get to decide. And
yeah,
abortion is one of those things. Trump is has made it to be where the states do decide.
yeah,
But I live in a state where, thankfully, you do get to have the choice,
yep,
but what if I wanted to move somewhere else? I
yep.
have
You
to,
gotta Google.
yeah, I have to see what rights I do or don't have in a place and then decide whether I want to deal with that and move there or not. Stay where I am and to me it's like it doesn't end there. It's so much more than abortion. It's all these other things, but just looking at it from like a woman's perspective on the whole abortion issue, it's like I don't want to be in fear that I can't explore the country, move somewhere new or whatever, and can't have certain things. And
Hmm.
not even saying that I myself would need that, but what if I did? And for the person who does, like, it just breaks my heart that there are people who don't have the freedom, so don't have the
Yep.
ability. But you said something like so great that even I didn't think of through this whole time. Is literally from like the beginning of time, women have basically been fighting for their rights. Like, it's such a sad point. Obviously, the issue is women of our past fought for something, got it for us, and then now it's being taken back. But we're just gonna have to do the same things
Over and over.
over and over. And I
Yep.
guess that's just the reality of this world that we're living in here.
Yep.
But I mean, that's it. That's really it. I think they're showed like a lot more unity than we ever really expected of
Oh yeah.
ourselves. And who's to say what the future holds and whatever else? But like you said, we just have to keep going, and
Yeah.
that's what I think we're all trying to do
Yep.
currently to the best of
Move
our
on.
individual abilities. Is
Yep.
just
But
move
get better.
forward. Yeah. I really do hope that we just kind of learn to become more tough, and it's so hard to just put this on people what I'm about to say. But like for example, I know that I will never work in politics. I can't do it. That's not a life for me. It's just
Sweet.
too much. Um, but I want those women who do want that to just become more tough. Like, one thing with Kamala that I love so much is that it was as if she had no fear. She was just so fierce,
Yeah.
and I love that about her. I admired that about her so much. And I really hope that this really, if nothing else, truly, truly did inspire more women. And hey, even with her, like, just because she lost this does not mean it's like over for
Over.
her.
Yep.
Yeah, she can always still come back if she so chose to. But even if not, I hope that she truly inspired other women
Mm-hmm.
to come more tough, to say like, I'm here, you do not scare me, and I'm going to say what I think, and I'm going to do what I say, and so uh, that I hope is something that changes within us, where I don't feel that we've been complacent too much. I think if anything, our world is really like evolving more and more. It's just the people who make the decisions for us are the ones
Are not.
who are not as progressive thinkers as we are, and that's where the problems
Yep.
don't reflect who we are today and how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's hard to completely picture what the future looks like, but I really do feel and hope that like women stick to like this feeling, remember it, and do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good chance that we could, and in the meantime, we have to do the things that keep us happy, the things that keep us fulfilled, and also keep fighting the fight, honestly.
Yep. Facts.
And I know for
Snaps.
me, right? um, I know for me, it's not even important. It's not even like something grand, but just as like a regular woman, a young woman at that, the things that make me happy and kind of take me out of a negative headspace, it's like, let me sit and make myself feel beautiful and go somewhere and do something that makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really love makeup so much nowadays, lately, more than I
I
really
know. I've
have.
noticed. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, I love makeup so much more than like I ever had before. And so I'm just taking my time to do that. And I love shopping also. I feel like this makes me sound so cliche, but this is what I mean when I say like the
You're.
little things, you
It's
know?
the little things, girl. It's not just
Yeah,
you.
right.
I
I
love
know.
reading. So.
Right. Exactly. Like sitting and reading, like getting into the things like a hobby or something that just makes you feel like more fulfilled or happy. And so it's like lately I've been throwing myself more into like, okay, I know that I really love makeup. I feel like it's not a hobby, but learning a skill of like how to do this, how to do that, like what things could I do with my hair, that what's a skill that I could learn, like I really want to learn guitar. And there
Oh,
is,
that'd be
yes,
good.
I really want to learn how to play.
I've
Like,
tried.
it's,
It's not for me.
I'm sure it's a lot more tough than it just sounds to just do it.
Oh no, it
But
is. It
yeah,
hurts
I
the
bet.
fingers, bro.
I know, I need a pick or
I
something.
tried it so much in high school and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it.
Right? I mean, so it doesn't even have to be that. Like, whatever you want to do, you want to go and take like a salsa class or something like that. And so,
Anything.
um, like personally, and I know this is not something that like most everyday people would be able to do or have the opportunity come across them, but I've felt more connected to women lately in this past year than I've had in a really long time. Because like for example, at my job, besides our like one male doctor, 'cause I work for a dentist office, I'm a receptionist. Um, the office is all women, and it has its pros
Yep.
and its
It
cons,
always is.
like everything. But that and just sitting and like having girl talk while you're having your work day kind of takes you out of like the stress of what you're doing. It gives you
Yeah.
like an outlet of people to like talk to about stuff that I probably don't feel as fulfilled talking with my boyfriend about because he just doesn't get it, or
I have
it's
so much
like,
arguments with my boyfriend all the time. I'm like, you know, I'm done talking to you. And he's
right.
like, you're just not listening. I'm like, I'm listening. I just don't like what you're saying. I'm like,
I
if
know.
you wanna keep this relationship safe, step away.
Yeah, it's like sometimes they just don't get it. And so I felt like really connected getting to have those like conversations with like women at my job and just like being surrounded by these girls that I work with now. So I'm like a content creator for this beauty store. And it's also just great because it's like I'm in an environment where there's all these things that like I want to try and do, and then like also getting to like work my job that feels a little bit more fulfilling. And then
Yeah.
I get to work with these women who also have these common interests as me, and like get to have these conversations and get to like do these activities and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. I have a bunch of cousins, and like a good chunk of them are girls, and just in this past year I've been spending more and more time with them and like going out and doing these things. Like I don't think men will truly understand the
No, they
simplicity of,
try.
right? But like the simplicity of getting yourself dolled up and just going to lunch with your best friend, your sister, your cousin is just like so fulfilling.
Even by
I,
yourself.
right,
You're like,
exactly.
yeah, I did the same thing. I like yesterday. I just put on like makeup. I'm away from my boyfriend was calling me. He's like, "Why'd you put on makeup?" I was like, "It's like, where are you going?" I'm like, "Nowhere."
Yeah,
He's like, "So
just
you
doing
just
it.
did it?" I'm like, "I felt like putting on makeup, so
Yeah,
I did."
exactly.
They don't
And I
get
do
it.
that all the time. They just don't get it. And it makes you feel happy. Like one thing I love about makeup is it can be a lot of work, don't get me wrong.
Oh, oh yeah,
But yeah, but like seeing the result afterwards or seeing it kind of come together in a way that you hoped it would, or maybe even better,
better.
it's just like, oh my gosh, it instantly gives you such a confidence boost. And
Yep,
it's like a rush of serotonin that it just makes you feel like you can do anything. You feel beautiful, you can do anything, and it just, you have to understand. You just have to know. If you
I
know,
know.
you know. I can't
I
describe
know
it.
what you mean, and I know that
Yeah.
you know that I know that you know.
Yes.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. No, I get it.
Yeah.
And also, like surrounding yourself with good people, it
Mhm.
does help. And I think personally, if you surround yourself, it doesn't have to be like you don't have to constantly be with women to or your best friends or your family
Yeah.
or anything to be like, oh, these people are important to me. If these people are there for you either way, it doesn't make them any less of a person for you.
Yeah.
Like my best friends, I see them whenever we have time and they're not less of my best friends. I never think about them otherwise. And I know I'll message them that we'll have fun, and I have like, and we're grown ups now. Like there's so much stuff that we're doing. So the little things that we do for ourselves, and then get to a chance to enjoy it with others, it does help a lot. Like
Mhm.
just that little tiny little thing that we do does help boost like the self esteem, and just
Yeah.
like your heart a little bit. Like, ah, I have people that care. I have people that love me. And again, you don't have to be doing this 24/7. You don't have to have all of that. Like, I consider you my friend. You consider me, I don't go, oh, it's just Jasmine. She's a mutual.
Yeah.
She's
No.
what is like, no, she's literally like my friend. Like, why would I say otherwise? Like, why would I think she's less of a friend just because I know her? I may
Yeah.
not talk to her every day of my life, but we do comment on each other's stuff. We like have little conversations. Doesn't mean this
It's
person's
the
less of my friend.
support.
It's the
Yeah.
support, exactly. And I just don't like it when people are like, oh, but this people is just, we're friends, but nothing more. And like, I don't think personally, this person and me are close because we say barely anything. No, doesn't make any sense. My best friend of 24 years is in Australia. She has kids now. She has two kids. I've been talking
Yeah.
to those two kids since they were in the womb. So one of them just knows me. She thinks I live down the street, poor girl, and I don't. And she's probably always like, damn, she's not even coming over. What a fucking bitch ass auntie, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
literally was like, so I call her every day, and we would go like months and months and months without talking to each other, but she was still my best friend. I knew if she called me, if she needed something, I will still be there because again, she was my first best friend ever when I got to Australia, up until the moment that I left at 15. She was my best friend. And she still is. So now, like every week, we call each other. I talk to the kids. I talk to that, and it's just little tiny supports that you need. Doesn't mean she's also my best friend. She's my best friend. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
having
I
that
do.
little tiny bits of support, no matter where it comes from, it is what it is. And
Mhm.
when you start feeling like weird around people and start having like the energy of I don't want to be around this anymore for women, especially because we feel that if you have that empathetic side, if you have that emotional side, you feel the energy. Like you can feel the vibes are off, and you're just like, this is not for me. It's been great. I'm just gonna slowly make my way out.
Yeah.
But doing that is even good too, because I don't like it when girls just burn bridges and then they're like, fuck this, you're this, you're that. I'm the victim, you're good, you're the villain, that's what sometimes it ends. Like in the beginning of my when was it? 2021. I ended two big friendships that I had. These two ex-friends were not listening. They were hearing random things and they just went off at me and then I just popped off of a mountain tubing.
Yeah.
Like in a tubing mountain where people are just sliding down the hill. I'm just yelling. And then I ended that whole thing with fuck you and I'm done. And I walked away. And I literally was like, I'm done with this. And I that was the only time I ever burnt bridges in my part. And that's only because I knew the type of person that I was, and they were making me sound like I was a number one villain. And I literally was like, are you both okay? Like
Mhm.
I was getting angry at the fact that they were just making up shit in their heads and making me look like I'm crazy. And my two best friends would stand and they were like, Nelly? Like, are you
Yeah.
guys okay? Her? Like, what are you talking about? So when I left and I did that, whatever, I was angry for about a year. Like, friendship breakups are hard. Like,
They
I
really
cried for
are.
like 2, 3 days. I was crying. I was like, I didn't do anything. I was like, I was always so good to them. I don't understand. And then I was angry for a while. I was like, I don't like them. I hate them. I was like, I hate them. I don't want anything to do with them. And at the end, I was like, you know what? I don't hate anybody. No matter how much they've upset me, how much they've hurt me, I don't hate anybody because that's a lot of load to carry with you. Like, a lot. So I even said it the other day to my best friend. I was like, I don't hate them and I don't wish them ill will. Whatever happened, happened, and it is what it is. I was like, I moved on from that. But if a time came that there was some sort of emergency, some sort of life or death situation, something really tragic happened, and they messaged me and they said, hey, this happened, I'm not gonna be like, no, you were this to me, I'm not gonna do anything. I'll reply, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that. Would you like any help? That's it. But that's just me
Mhm.
being civil. You know what I mean? If you're constantly like, again, it doesn't matter what you put me through, even if, because I know I'm a good person. If I am good to that person, no matter what, even if they've done me fucking dirty and I've moved on from it, I've moved past it, I've forgiven that person. If something happens, it happens. And then I'll be like, if you need anything, you let me know. But I will know my extents of what I'm doing for them. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
go above and beyond for you like I used to do. If I'm doing a simple level A, I'll do, you know?
Yeah.
So having those kind of people around you all the time that will make you feel good and not make you feel like that all the time, like you're walking on thin ice with other people, it does affect a person, especially women's like mental health, like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, putting on makeup, make yourself doing little things to make yourself feel better, it does help. Like I could be going through hell and back and I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna read a book because I need to
Yes.
escape my world for a second. I need to
Yes.
leave what I like like in the last 3 days I've been trying to like read a book. I've been trying to finish the Nurse of Akatar series, totally unrelated, and I just have not been able to finish the last book because one of the sisters, I don't know if you've read it, I don't want to spoil it.
No, I have not.
One of the sisters really just annoys me, and I'm trying to understand her side. I really am trying to be a girl's girl. I'm really
Yeah.
trying to understand, but I'm understanding, but I'm also like, why are you being like this? Like I just want to like whack her in the face and be like, wake up. Stop
Mm-hmm.
being so rude. But I also feel like I should finish the rest of the book because I'm only halfway through. But
It's
she's
so
really annoying
hard
me. But like,
sometimes.
you know, it's just like doing the little things just helps. I'm just saying, like, doing the little things helps. Reading a book, escaping from everything, putting on makeup, and going out by yourself. I sometimes just
Yeah.
want to go to Winners by myself. Sorry, Winners is my
Yeah.
TJ Maxx. Sorry. So
Oh,
like,
gotcha.
yeah, we've renamed it here. We still have Home Sense, but we renamed it Winners, and then we still have Marshalls, which you guys I think have as well.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
So
So
like I
crazy.
sometimes just want to do that. I just want to go get a coffee or a matcha and I just want to go walk in the mall by myself with my headphones in. I would like to zone out for a second. So doing all
Mm-hmm.
those little things to make yourself feel good, it helps.
Yeah.
And stopping, especially with women, I think what we've learned from this whole thing with America is that women seem to think being against each other helps and it doesn't. Some people really are not girls. Some people really do not understand what other girls are saying or feeling, or they will listen, but they're not listening. They'll
Yeah.
be like, "I'm listening to you, but I know from the beginning of when you started talking to me that you're wrong and I'm right, and the fact that I'm you're just ruining everything, and I don't like your vibe, but I have the best vibe."
Oh
And that's
yeah.
what I've seen,
That's where you lose
especially
me.
that's what I've seen, especially with the whole thing that's happening. I've seen so many women like, oh, but he's good for this. I was like, you guys are not listening to other women. You're genuinely not listening to other women. If I'm telling you I feel this way, and instead of you saying I'm listening to what you're saying, here's also how I feel. But like if I said to you right now, Jasmine, I think the way you spoke to me or the way you're treating me lately is just very hurtful. Like the things that you've said to me are very hurtful and I don't like the way it's been. And then you go, thanks, I'll think about what you've said and I've heard what you've got to say, but here's how I feel and also how I feel from what you said. So kind of like in a manipulative bounce back gaslighting ways, like how I feel, but this is also how I feel. So if you don't care about how I feel, then I don't care about how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like if a girl ain't being a girl, why do you have friends? How do you
Mm.
have friends?
Yeah.
Because it's genuinely frustrating to me how some girls have friends like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it genuinely is.
Yeah, it's like such shallow relationships that people hold on to. And like as you grow, you either go down like two roads with it. You like get to a point where you recognize and then you stop accepting it, or you get to a point where you're like, I am gonna choose to do this because it's convenient for me, or because this person fits my vibe, or
Yep.
they're okay
They are the same.
sometimes. Yeah, and that's where I can't go down that road because I have been in the place where I had the friends where like you have these things that make you feel fulfilled, or like for example, I remember when I was younger and I used to dress up for school, and I had a friend that'd be like, why are you dressed up like that? Why do you? And it wouldn't even be crazy. It's like her version would be like sweatpants and mine would be a skirt and boots. And she's like,
Why does it matter?
why are you dressed like that? Yeah. Why do I have the type of friend that makes me feel like shit for trying to dress up nice and like make myself feel better on the
Mm-hmm.
inside or like look better, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's just so weird because, like going back to what you said, like where you had that moment of like having the two friendship cut off. So basically, um, with like it felt like an attack to your character.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people really do get it wrong. And
Oh yeah.
sometimes, in their perspectives, you really are doing or whatever they say that you are. And it's hard to recognize. But sometimes they do just get it wrong because you're just two different types of people. And it only reaches ahead after this situation comes up or that situation to like make it all really come to light.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a thing too where I have been in that predicament before. You have these friendships for years and then you just kind of change, or maybe
You
you
grow.
don't even, yeah, like you both change into whomever you're becoming. Whether anybody thinks that they're changing for the worse is like, you won't be able to really tell, or if you are able to tell and you actively choose to keep doing that, that's a whole different story. But I feel like when we're growing and like becoming these people who we will be through like our adulthood, you kind of like realize, I think that I am the good guy of my story. And
Mm-hmm.
this person is doing this to me, or they're doing this, and I don't like that anymore. And so, like, where the girlhood comes in is, do we have to be so nasty to each other? And I feel like with my experience of like friendships, is I've always had a problem, a struggle with truly like expressing how I feel. I don't really like arguing with people.
Mm.
So
I'm the
the
same.
worst, yeah, like the worst thing I've ever really done is just not tell someone how I feel at all and then just kind of move on. It's like a defense mechanism where I
I do the
don't
same
say
thing. If I
anything
get it.
and then just move on and let them be confused. And I'll hold on to the feeling of they should have known. They should have known. It's so
Yeah.
clear what they did. And so I feel like that's been like my worst crime when it comes to, I guess you could say, like girlhood or girl friendships, whatever. But at the end of the day, there are definitely key friendships or key relationships where, like you said, if something happened to you and I heard about it and I felt comfortable enough, of course I'm going to reach out and say something or ask you how you are or whatever. Or if you contact me and it's not from a place of like bad intent and you're trying to ask me for help or something like that, maybe depending on the circumstances, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I'll never truly be cruel to anyone.
Yep.
That's where I feel like I cross the line of knowing when to protect myself and when you are actually being mean. And I think because of like, for me personally, because of like therapy and just like experience and who I am on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen things a lot differently than other people have. So like for example, I had someone that I was so close with for years, and I guess you could say, I don't even want to call it like a bad fallout. We we broke apart. I have my reasons that I think it happened. She most likely has hers, but it was never discussed. It was just, that's the
There.
end, I guess.
It just
Yeah.
faded.
Yeah. And, then later it progressed to antagonizing and whatnot. And me, I couldn't understand why we're doing this. Let's just let it be, or at least like have enough respect for each other of what was to not be this
Ruin it.
way. Yeah. And then even from there, I remember like something bad happened to her. Like her mom passed away, and the the me that I am is, oh, you know what? Because I feel like it's okay to just be honest. we had not been friends for at least like a year at this point. Maybe a year and a half, something like that. And someone who I was currently friends with is the one who told me the news. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
huh, that's what she gets. Her mom passed away. And I was
Uh,
just like,
you don't say
I,
that.
right. And I was just like, wow. So that's not who I am. Like, even though I was friends with that person, it shocked me to hear that. I didn't stand with that though. I reached out to this girl and like
Yeah.
sent my condolences, and not to say I think maybe there's like just me being who I am and also a mix of delusion. I reached out and sent my condolences, and I feel like amends was made for what happened with us, and I thought, okay, maybe we could be like cool again. Not in a way like we're hanging out or whatever, but
Just
maybe
cool, civil.
just, yeah, just like kind to each other. I can see something you post and like say something nice to you, and like you might
Mm-hmm.
reciprocate, and that's not really how she saw it, and that's okay. And that other friend that I had, the one that was like, oh, that's what she gets, we're not friends anymore. And it wasn't even because of that. It was just, I couldn't even tell you why. It's just, honestly, I think maybe that version of herself that she was morphing into is like not something that
You want to
she,
be around.
yeah. And I felt like, okay, church and state, you want to do those things with those people, and then you can be this way with me, then fine. But I don't think that's like how she was becoming as a
Mm-hmm.
person. And so that, I feel, was not my choice that the friendship ended, but it was okay, because at the end of the day, I really do stand with like essential aspects of girl code, and both of those scenarios just, they weren't really aligning with the things that I stand for. And so that's where I am, like, just as a woman and like as a friend, I have certain morals that I think not every girl or every woman stands by, but they really do make up the most of what we see as girlhood. Certain
Yeah.
things that like I would pass is something that a different woman wouldn't, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa.
Yep.
And so it's such a complex thing, but it can be so beautiful. Um, and that's where I kind of thrive and live. That you made a good point. I have friends that I haven't seen in like 4 years, but guess what? I can still text her and say happy birthday. Can
Mm-hmm.
text her and ask her how she's doing, how her dog is,
Yeah,
stuff like
exactly.
that. And I know that the love and the support is still there, and it gives me joy to say, "Oh, my friend so and so." And it's not like, "Oh, just because we don't do this or because she doesn't know that doesn't mean the friendship is not real." Because you
Exactly.
have those friendships with people who are, someone you see every day, and then it's it doesn't have substance, and it's not fulfilling, it's not wholesome. So I just try to not expect that all your friends are going to have all of the same interests or
Oh,
all of the same
definitely.
schedules as you, but
And we're
I just try,
grown-ups.
exactly, right. I try to live in the reality that if this woman is like being supportive of me and vice versa, being kind, we're actively caring about what's going on with each other and each other's well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that it's like enough for me, I think.
No,
And
I understand. Yeah.
like you said, that's how I genuinely feel with you or like other people that I never got to like physically meet, and definitely would love to
I want to
in
come to New
some
York next year,
capacity.
so
Yes, I'm telling you,
I'm
literally, like
texting you.
it, in some capacity, it's like there are people that I maybe even have gotten close to hanging out with, but never quite did. But guess what? Like, I still have their number. I still check in on them. And I
Yep.
feel like people who know me well enough would be able to say, yeah, Jasmine definitely remembers this. Jasmine definitely reaches out, or Jasmine's the type of friend to freaking, like, for example, send you an e gift on your birthday and
Yeah,
not even like say anything. It doesn't matter. Like that's just how it
who
is.
she
And
is. Yeah,
yeah, and I try to live in that, and I just try to
good.
like take pride in how I go about life and the things that make me happy and the people who support that and know the truth about like who you are and who you stand for, I think
Mhm.
make all the difference in the world.
Definitely. No, I agree. Girlhood. It's
Yeah.
a, it's a, it's not easy because we all, or at least some of us, care so deeply, and some of us just don't care, and it's just so hard to communicate. So finding your peace, finding what works for you, finding who you want to be around, who is around, with the attitude wise, what vibes you want for the rest of your life is very important. As we get older, it's not that we change. I call it. I say we are evolving,
Yeah.
because we're not the same teenagers we were. We have a different mindset. Um, and even with friends, we're not the same people anymore. We do grow up, even if seeing each other with the times that we have, we all working, we're all doing this, doing that. So getting to see your best friends for like 2 or 3 times a month, that to me is even amazing. 'Cause I'm like, how do we do that? I'm working this many days a week, and you're working. How did we do that? Even if it's for an hour, like I go see
Yeah.
my one of my close friends. She just had a baby. I go and message her all the time. How you feeling? How's the baby? I went and saw the baby the other day, and I see her like once a month, twice a month. And to us, that's good because we're like, this is us trying. And one has
Yeah.
a baby now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You
as long as you're
start to
making it work,
see.
as long as you're making it work, and as long as there's no problem, but when people make problems for themselves or make the situation into a problem for no good reason, that's what bothers me. It's like, why are you doing this? Like, for what reason? Are
Yeah.
you why are you creating drama for no reason?
Right.
And like you said, the whole communicating thing, I'm a Scorpio girl. I don't know how to communicate, okay?
I know
I
it's actively a struggle and we're trying
I've
because
I've
that's
done better. I've been better though.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. As I hit my 30s, I kind of just feel like, okay, bitch, grow
you
up.
gotta.
You're in your 30s. I'll let it simmer with me for a few days, but if it's
Yeah.
something really really big, I will talk to somebody else about it just so I can get it out. And then to
Yeah.
me, that's like, okay, I've gotten it out. I've gotten it out. At least send a message to
Okay,
them.
please. I need to like actually have a moment with this part of the conversation because this is me. And guys, like, look, I'm 23, but I'm even in the same place that Nelly is, where I'm like, okay, look, at a certain point, the things that like I know about myself is that like I struggle with communicating my negative feelings, the ones that I hate to like let other people see, but I do feel. Like
Mm.
if I'm upset with someone or I think maybe I might be mad about something, I'm like always in this weird place of like, do I say something? Am I tripping? Like, is this not actually
Yep.
something worth being upset over? Where am I going wrong? And I try to sit with that for a little while. So there are times where like I don't always get back right away. And I'm sure that gets taken as like that's the
They're
answer.
mad.
She is mad. But it's literally me trying to figure out like what do I say? How do I want to move forward with this?
How
And
do
I
I
don't know.
feel?
Yes, and I don't know if this is like just a Scorpio thing or not, but I actually do struggle with that. And like what you were just saying too, like you getting to see your friends maybe like twice a month is like a miracle. And this is the reality that I'm like starting to get at because I've had like best friends that, I know what I do on my side is I will clear something off to see you. I will make
Same.
time and I will stick to it. And I had been struggling this past year with like understanding either not everyone can do that, maybe not everyone is like that, or, also like it's the reality that sometimes it just doesn't always work out.
Yep.
And I felt like pretty let down by like some best friends on that aspect. But then I'm like, you got to grow up. Like some things, yes, they could do better, but maybe like you just have to accept this
You
like
gotta be understanding.
specific. Yeah, you have to be understanding. And so I feel like that's to a point that I am currently at where I'm like, look, you know what? I understand. I accept it. what am I going to do to not let myself be stuck here, like in this mindset? But definitely, as far as the communication goes, like, don't get me wrong, I even have this issue with my cousin where, like, we're so close, but I'm like, I need a couple of days before I like get back like to respond because I don't know just how I feel just yet. Do I want to make this a thing or not? But it's so hard because like with people in general, unless you like respond immediately, that's what things get taken as for. But I wish that more people could understand like sometimes not even just as a woman, but just as a person in general, it's like thoughts and feelings are complex. Like the immediate response thing like is I don't know if that's like the bare minimum of expectation or it's like we need to kind of meet in the middle more of like don't wait a whole week to respond but maybe like get
Yeah,
back to me or say something so I know that like you're
you've
doing
acknowledged
whatever.
it.
Yeah, you know? And that's where like I as a Scorpio, as like a woman, I know is like so hard to
I
understand. But
know.
I needed that to like to get out because that's something I still deal with like
And you
all the
can't even
time.
talk to a man. I can't even talk to my
Right?
boyfriend because he's trying to be illogical and he's trying to give me things to fix. I'm like, I don't need you to fix it. I need you
Yeah.
to just listen to what I'm
Like
saying. So I talked
I'm
to my
just
friend.
saying.
Yeah, I'm just speaking. Don't
Yeah.
answer me. Just listen, okay?
Yeah.
Even if I'm wrong, you listen. But
Yeah.
like you said, the whole answering thing, I understand. Sometimes even I sit with something for like a day or two to think about it, but I just can't. To me, it's disrespectful when you say something to someone and you're telling them how you feel or whatever, and that person completely ignores that information and just doesn't respond at all. And it's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, so I did my part. I told you how I felt. And then
Yeah.
once I did tell you how I felt, you didn't give me any answer, didn't reply to me, didn't answer me, didn't acknowledge anything, and just talk to me as if that conversation never happened. And that's what really annoys me. I'm just like, okay, this is
That's
what makes me not
completely
want to
different.
communicate.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
you not doing the same or acknowledging the fact that I communicated with you. Even if I
Mhm.
responded to you an hour later, 2 hours later, a day later, I'm still responding because I had time to think about it. That's why when someone doesn't reply to me for 2 days, I'm like, okay, they're probably also thinking about it too. But if you're absolutely not even messaging me whatsoever to reply to what they're saying, and then talking about something else, I'm just like, did you even care? Did you
Yeah.
even think about it for a second? Like I was thinking about it for like 3 days? No.
Mhm.
And that's what just again triggered me with the whole oh my god, tell people how you feel. Like my best friend my best friend, she goes, Nelly, you have to tell me how you feel. I'm like, I can't do it. She's like, you have to. I'm like, I don't want to start an argument. I just know it's gonna start an argument. I don't have the time. I don't have the mental
Yeah.
capacity. I don't have the energy. And she's like, you have to. So I'm like, fine. You Taurus stubborn person making the other stubborn person do it. So
Yeah.
I do it. And then I tell her, she's like, how do you feel? I'm like, I don't know. Leave me
Yeah.
alone. I couldn't
Yeah,
think about it.
literally.
But she's the one who makes me say things. And I'm just like, I don't want to. She's like, no, if you don't say something, you're gonna resent this person and you're gonna be mad. I'm like, fine. To you, I will
Yeah.
listen. Like, it's different when your best friend is giving you advice than when a boyfriend is. Because I'm like, I don't need you to answer me. You don't know me well enough. My
Yeah.
best friend of 15 years knows me more. You don't
Yeah.
know my personalities. But, like, yeah, that's just the one thing that communication is something I definitely need to still I'm learning. I'm picking and choosing my battles. That's what I've got to
Right.
say.
Yes.
Lately, I've been picking and choosing my battles, girly pop, because
Mhm.
I don't have the energy. I don't have the mindset. I don't have the stress. I'm already stressed enough with life.
Yeah.
I don't need to add more to my stress. Okay?
Mhm.
So I literally pick and choose my battles because
Yeah.
I can't be fighting every day. There's a
I
lot of
know.
things some people say that really irk me, and I'm just like, I just want to like shake them and say, stop being this fucking shitty thing that you're saying and stop being the shitty person that you are. But I just
Yeah.
don't. I'm just like, keep your mouth shut, pick and choose what you say because you don't want to ruin anything right now. Maybe they'll come to the realization that they fucked up or they said something wrong and they acknowledge it. But it's it's hard.
It
It's
is
really
hard.
hard. Like
Yeah.
I try.
No, it's like you guys truly have to understand that, like, most of the time, like, we're really actually trying. And this is like women in general. I'd like tiered a little bit to Scorpio women, but like women specifically, like, we're trying at all times. There's a lot of things to process through, and a lot of things that we have more of a problem with than like the average man would, and things that we are like, okay, I need to like process if this made me upset or not, if I
Yep.
want to make this a problem or
Mm-hmm.
not, how do I want to proceed knowing that this is how this person is, or whatever the case is. Like, it's so many things, and we don't have like the blueprint on how to just do it all. And like, I know, like, with how I am, I try to be like as graceful as I possibly can at all times. I really, really do. I try to handle every situation as perfectly as possible
Yep.
because, like you said, that's how I want to be seen. That's who I feel like I am on the inside. And also, it's like I try to decipher, like, okay, pick and choose your battles. Is this worth it or is this not?
Will you
And
move on or not? Like,
right, exactly. So I think like it's it's a lot, and what I hate is for like me being the person that I am and knowing that this is how I am with like conflict. I hate for this kind of thing to be misconstrued as like being on the negative side
mm-hmm.
of girlhood, you know? And I think that's where people justify themselves a little bit more rather than like trying to meet you a little bit. And like, don't get me wrong, like the way that like certain people may or may not act, yes, is definitely worth not dealing with or like not accepting. But when you're like how I am and you try to be calm but you just get upset, or maybe like if you want to categorize it, like, I think most of my problems come from the fact that I'm just like a sensitive woman. I feel like, it's so weird to say this with friends, but sometimes I feel like I have abandonment issues. So if I feel like, I reached out to this person and I asked to hang out and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." And then when I like go back and say like, "Okay, when? Like what time? Are we still going here?" And I feel ghosted, and not even feel, but like that's actually how the situation
I
played
would
out.
I would feel upset too. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm like, "Okay,
It's just
now."
disrespectful.
Right, like now you've kind of pushed me past my understanding point. And then also in certain aspects where maybe we didn't go all the way to the lengths of like actually making plans, but like we talked about it, or like you said, like I've expressed like, "Hi, like I miss you," or something like this, like thinking about you. And like it's not being reciprocated, and like we're not actively trying to do whatever, like meet each other or whatever, then yeah, those things are hurtful. And it's hard, like when you feel hurt, to continue to be graceful.
Yep. You're
But
just trying not to be the villain when they
yeah,
want you to be.
exactly. Like that's where it feels like, okay, let me
Do I
not.
want to stoop to the level that I think I can go to?
Right.
No.
That's what I'm
But do I have
saying.
to do it if I have to become that? Yes. Don't make me do
Yeah.
it. And that's the thing that people don't notice. It's like, oh, she's so nice. She would never. It's like, you don't know what I can do. I just
that
choose
that
to
part.
be this, as the TikToks were saying, I just choose to be demure, okay? I just choose to be mindful. If I
Yeah,
wanted to be a bitch, I can be one. Don't make me get there. Like,
that
do
part.
not make me get there. Like, I think that's one thing that the other two ex friends didn't expect out of me, was me going off that hard, because the other one was just staring at me like this. Like, she was
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck did I unleash?" And I was just fed up. I was like, "What the fuck are you guys?" When I tell you, this was supposed to be a fun tubing day, okay? And it ended in fucking disaster. But actually ended pretty well. I went to Chick-fil-A and had Chick-fil-A's, whatever. But
To win.
the purpose of it was like, when I went off, that other friend thought I wouldn't even say, like, the other one that I was arguing with the most didn't think I would say anything back. And then I went off with, I don't give, and I just was like, I don't give a fuck about you and what you're going through in your life, because you never give a fuck about me and what I went through in my life. And it was during the time that, when my cousin passed, she didn't say nothing to me. Nothing.
Oh,
So I literally was like, and then when I get angry, boy, I cry. I'm those angry criers and
everything
handshaky
comes out.
criers. Then I'm like
Yeah.
trying to get my point across, but they're not fucking listening. I just start crying, my hands start shaking. I just want to like cause that or rage. So I literally
Yeah.
was like, I was like, you don't care a fuck about me. You don't care about what I'm like. Why do I care about you when I have enough things going on in my life? And I was like, my cousin died 2 weeks ago. Not a one message from you. And she was like, what cousin? And I literally was like, explains why you did not give a shit. I'm like, in a day where social media was happening, I posted it everywhere
Mhm.
saying how upset I
You
was, yet
saw.
you didn't know. Get the fuck out of
Mhm.
here. Like, get out of here. It's baffling to me how some people just don't understand the concept. If I wanted to be mean, I would. I'm choosing not to. I'm
Yeah.
choosing to be a good person and just
And
take
that's not
life
even a threat.
easy.
That's not even a threat. That's just like
No.
me saying, this is like, we all make choices. My choice is, I want to be this kind, great person, and
Yep.
I want us to have a good relationship. But it is in me that if you and I like have this big issue, or I feel disrespected or truly hurt, that
Yep.
yeah, like, I can be that way. And
Don't
do
make
I
me, but
do
I
that?
will.
Yeah, like, do I do that to you? Do I do it in like random unnecessary situations? No.
No.
Only when things have really truly reached an irredeemable point
Like a
is,
boiling, like
yeah,
lava.
yeah, that's like, only then will you kind of get that side out of me. And especially with me, because I hate fighting. I feel like I'm bad at it. Like, I'm not a comeback queen, not anything like that at all. So I don't like to find myself in those situations at all. But even still, so just like on the side of like pettiness and all of that, it's too much of a stress. I don't feel like it. I don't want to go there. I don't want to
Yep.
have to be having this go on. And so, like, let's just not do it. Let's
Do
not
it.
go there.
Be more civil.
Right, right.
Like,
And yeah, and that's the part I think, like, it's just like so hard to navigate female friendships, because I feel like, because of experience, I'm always like wondering, how will this turn out? You can't sit and
you
think
can't
about that
trust
stuff.
anybody at this point, and
Yeah.
that's what I hate. It's like the fact that you have to be like, I trust no one. And it's not that I don't trust anybody. It's just that I I close myself up, and if I need to open up to someone, I will. I have to trust them internally. And that was the thing. I trusted the other person, and they fucking let me down so hard, and I was like, what's the point? What is
Yeah.
the point? Why am I doing all of this if I know the outcome of it is the other person screwing me over? Like, for what
Yeah.
reason? Or like that person using something good that they did like twice against you. Like,
Hmm.
if I buy you the most expensive gift, okay? Say, I don't know, fucking know. I buy you something expensive, okay? Whatever it is. And then we have an argument or we have a fallout, and I'm like, you know what, Jasmine? I did all these good things for you. I'm the one who bought you that expensive present, and I took you out to dinner at that one time, and I did this for you, and I did that for you, and this is how you treat me. And I was like, I'm sorry. Were you doing all of these good things for me to do good things for you and to treat you nice? Like, aren't you supposed to be doing that from your fucking heart? Like, aren't you supposed to be doing
Yeah.
that for your? And I literally was like, and I didn't when they wrote me that entire message, I didn't even respond to them because I was like, I know what I have done that's been good for you, and I'm not gonna be that person to say I've done A, B, C, D, F, G, Z for you,
Mm.
and you've done three things for me. That's not who
Yeah.
I am. It's
Right.
like I know the type of person that I am. I do things for my friends, my family, whoever it is. I don't expect anything back. I'm not the one going, oh, you know what? I've always sent Jasmine and like you said, the E invite, an E card for her birthday. Not once has she sent me one.
Yeah.
I did that. You're supposed to be doing that out of your kindness of your fucking heart, not because you're gonna think you're gonna benefit from it. Like, it baffles me when some people are in a friendship to gain something. They're only there because they're expecting something back. And it's like, and also, if you keep telling me to do good stuff for you, why do I want to do that for you?
Mhm.
If I'm always like asking you, oh, why are you doing that for that person, but you're not doing it for me? And I'd be like, why? Why do you
Yeah.
need the exact same thing done? Not all of my friendships are the same. My best friend 15 years is different. My best friend in Australia is completely different. My other friend here is different. Each person is different around each friend. And it's not in a bad way. It's in a good way and depends on who that person brings out in you. I have a
Mhm.
friend, I met her when I was working at a shoe store. So we were employees and we became best friends. Like, she right now, I have her location. She's in LA. I'm tracking her. She's like, keep an eye out. I'm like, I got you. No problem. Me and her,
Yeah.
when we're around each other, we're just like a little bubbly. We laugh all the time. We like giggle over dumb shit. And like, my other best friend, we sit there, we vent, we talk to each other. Or we just sit there in silence, watch TV, and be on our phones and share memes. Like, it just depends on who you are around. And if that person no longer benefits your mental health or who you want to be forever, why do you need to have that stress in your life? It's like, I
Mhm.
appreciate you. I appreciate, what was that quote? My ADHD kicked in. It's about like relationships, like boyfriend, girlfriend. It was like, I miss you. I miss the memories. I don't miss like the
The
person or something like
person.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, just because I miss you doesn't mean I want you back. That's the
Right.
thing that I said. Just because I miss you doesn't mean I want you back, and it's understandable because sometimes you miss the memories with someone. You miss all
Yeah.
the things that you did with someone, and that person is not in your life anymore. But it doesn't mean I'm just like I want that person back. It's like, no, you know what? I think the way you treated me was worse than the memories. I have more worse things than good things. That's why I'm still holding on to the little bit of good memories that I have because I'm like, maybe that person could be the same way again. No, because they showed you who they were and they showed it you very well. And if they wanted to change and grow with you, they would have.
Mhm.
So it's not worth it sometimes. And you're just like, okay, that was a good little memory and now we're moving on the rest of our day. You know?
Yeah.
So to me, it just depends on how the situation is. If I just don't get me to the level that I'm gonna be fucking pissed at because you
Yeah.
don't want me to be at that level. Like, you don't want me because I will hurt your fucking feelings.
And no,
I'm sorry.
it's like it's not something that I feel proud to say, but I
Yeah,
definitely
but I
know that
will
I'm
if I have
capable of
to.
it.
If I'm
Yeah.
not proud of it, I'm not proud of it. I grew up with
Yeah.
divorced parents that did nothing but ignore each other. Okay, I was their messenger. Tell your dad dinner's
Mhm.
ready. Dad, dinner's ready. Tell your mom I heard her. She's in the other room. Mom, she heard you. Okay, tell him it's ready. Like, you know what I mean? I grew
Yeah.
up in a hostile household. If
Mhm.
I have to be mean to you, I don't want to be, but don't fucking make me say words that you're gonna
Yeah.
make me want to regret, but I don't, because I'm like, you put me in this fucking position to be the person I didn't want to be in. And once
Yeah.
I got to that, you're like, I knew it. I knew that
Mhm.
she was always like this. And it's like,
Yeah.
you fucking put me there.
Right. And I resent that so much. I resent that because that's not who I am. That's not how I've reflected myself to you. That's not what I've presented to you. And yet,
Yep,
like, you're trying to act as if that was everything that ever happened between us.
happened.
And you know what I mean? Like,
No, I get you.
it's, oof, I resent it. I resent that.
Trust me, I know.
And
I
it's so real.
I
Yeah.
I just I try to hold myself back recently, but like, it is what it is. Even not with girls, just like small stuff. Like, my boyfriend, sometimes someone does something to him and I get so angry
Oh,
and I
yeah.
just go off. I'm like, why are you reacting this way? What do you want me to do? I'm like, have talk to this, be like, you treat me like shit, like, say something.
Yeah.
And then I get pissed off because I'm like, why are you treating him like this? Because I know he's a good fucking person and you
Mm,
are ruining his character to make yourself feel better. And it really fucking bugs me. And
oh,
I tell him
yeah.
that all the time. I'm like, I don't like the way A and B are treating you, like, at
Mhm.
all. I'm like, I am choosing to be civil for these with these people around you because I know you care. But I know deep down, you know that I'm right.
Yeah.
You know, like he has this one friend literally just uses him for random shit. Hey, like he's like, oh yeah, my good friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, sweetheart, when has he ever been there for you?
Mhm.
I'm like, stop being so available to him. He has never been there for you. And then he thought about it and then he called me, he's like, you're right, like, he hasn't been there. I'm like, I'm not telling you to stop being his friend. I'm telling you to stop going above and beyond for this person when they wouldn't do the same thing for you.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
why are you doing that for someone when they've shown you how they are treating you, but you're still going above and beyond for that person? For what? For
Yeah.
absolutely what?
Mhm.
So it just annoys me when people just do that, and it just, yeah, that's just one
I
thing. It's like,
know. Been
don't
there.
make me do it.
Been there, and I realized that's how I know. I kind of see it as like a more admirable trait about myself is that I I kind of take and take until I do get to a point where I feel like okay, like you've brought this out of me. I either am like standing up for myself or like calling you out or protecting someone because I've been in the same
Yep.
scenario like with my
Yeah.
boyfriend too, and I'm just like infuriated at like
You can make me a
how
bad guy. I don't care.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah,
standing
it's
up for
like
him.
infuriating how you can see these things happening or like see the way someone's treating them and
Yeah.
and even with like my cousin's boyfriends or stuff like that, it's like it gets infuriating and don't get me wrong, like that's not who I am, but I will do it like if I truly,
Don't make
truly
me do
have
it.
to. Yeah, I
Just
really
the
will.
moral of the story is don't make me do it.
Yeah,
Don't
yes,
make me do
right.
what you know that I can do. My God, just like
Yeah.
life is just so complicated. My God.
No, it really is. It really is. And it's hard because like, like when you're a woman and then you let that side of yourself out, that's when the narratives start and that's when this
Oh,
and
she's a
that.
woman. She's
Yeah,
overreacting.
right, right. Like, and people like want to see you differently than they would if like a man is standing up for something or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no, I get it.
it's just it's just so tough and like you said it's completely complex but like really that's why we just have to like decide to like be who we are and just like act how we want to act and make the new status quo because they're going to try and like say what they want to say, force us to do what they want us to do and like all these things like I want to see a new era for us.
Of
I really,
women.
yeah, like I really want to see a new era and I want to see more of what we're capable of. Like
Yep,
how we
I
just
agree.
had this whole conversation like don't push me there, but I will do it if I have to. I feel like that's how I kind of hope and could see the new state of our future being like okay, you guys didn't know that we were capable of this, but guess what?
But
We're
we are.
doing this now and standing up for ourselves. We're
Yep.
doing this and like protecting our peace. Like, like all these things. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
No, I agree. I agree, man. It's man, girl talk is fun.
it is. It
It's
is.
I'm literally just a girl, okay, Jasmine? I'm literally just a girl.
Yeah,
Just feeling what literally girls do.
right?
But yeah, it's been a good talk. I love this. Oh my God, we've been talking for so long.
I know.
I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you, probably gonna make this into two-part because we've talked about a lot of good stuff. So
Yeah.
part two, stay tuned for part two.
I mean, but yeah,
It's
definitely. It was like this has been just like such a great conversation. And yeah, I feel like the beginning, like we're talking about one thing, and then the second half we're talking about another thing. But that's just the
it's
reality
connected as
of
well.
yeah, it's connected, and that's like the reality of why I love having deep conversations with women, specifically women
Women, because they get
because
it.
yeah, it's like they get it and we'll go through all the layers of everything and like this
Exactly.
to me having these kinds of conversations is how I know I can trust you as a person. Like if
Honestly,
you know what I mean, if we can't get this deep, then I don't want it. I'm good.
agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed. Agreed.
uh
Agreed. No, I agree. It's the same thing for me. So, but thank you so much.
Of
for taking
course.
the time out of your day to do this with me.
Of course.
We'll definitely
Always.
be doing more coming up because it'll be fun, especially with me and you out here like
Yeah.
battling
I
it out.
know. I
I love
can't
it. But
wait to
thank you so
see.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
thank
you.
you.
I'm like the water when you sip, rolling